All right, now that we have all of our panels pretty much built, or at least roughed in, let's go ahead and build the same panels on this side, or the medial side of the shoe. Now, the easiest thing to do is duplicate these so you're not actually rebuilding everything. However, easy pieces like this, the eye stay, you can probably build that just as easily as you can mirror it over to the other side. So I'm going to first take the saddle piece, and we're just going to mirror that over. This will, of course, ensure that I have the same basic geometry and edge flow and everything as is on this side. But I'm not going to do it in the topology tab. I'm going to jump over to the Modo tab here and work with it in here. So close that guy down, don't need it. And I'm going to turn everything off that I'm really not going to be working with here. So I'm going to take the toe cap foxing and the eye stays and turn those off and only have the saddle. And yeah, so you can see that there. Double click that. Okay, it's a little bit easier to view. There's a lot of wireframe going on in here, a lot of noise, but I'll just deal with it. But that's okay. If we want, we can go ahead and hit the options key, go to inactive meshes, and just make this a default with no wireframe. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and just mirror this onto the other side. But we don't want to mirror it as a polygon. We want to mirror it as an item. All right, so we want to mirror this whole item layer. So I'm going to go over here to duplicate, go down to my mirror tool here, and I'll go ahead and mirror it right about there. So keep it away from the shoe for now. The reason I'm doing this is we know that shoes are not symmetrical, so the medial and the lateral side are different, so this is not going to match up. But what I can do is actually make this conform to this side of the shoe. But before I do that, I want to look at the left side here. I want to look at it and make sure that none of the edges are going over the side of the shoe, otherwise it won't adhere to it very well. So I do think I have to make a few minor adjustments here, nothing too major. Just going to go into polygon mode though before I do anything, and we can see that we need to just make some minor alignments. So I'm going to use the element move tool, which is the T key, and it is a cool tool, by the way. All right, so I'm going to go ahead now. I'm going to use a background constraint to just kind of wrap this saddle around the shoe. So I'm going to, let's go to my left side here. Just double click that. I'm highlighting it mainly so I can see it when it wraps around the shoe, since I'm not in topology mode. So I'm going to hit the W key to transform it, and I'm going to hit background constraint, and I'm going to bring up my tool properties. Now we can do it a couple of ways. We can do it as a vector constraint or screen axis. In this case, I'm going to do this as a screen axis so that it will conform to the object that's directly behind your point of view. So with that, I'm just going to click and just move this ever so slightly. Doesn't even have to be a half a millimeter. So when I do that, it just snaps immediately to the backdrop object, or the background object. And there we are. So I'll go to perspective view and we can take a look at it. And yeah. So with that in place, I'm going to turn that off, turn off the mesh constraint. And I'm going to now merge these two saddle items into one item so that everything resides on the same layer. And just put those there, right click, go to merge meshes, Click OK. And there we are. Everything's on one layer now. Now you can see this lines up not too bad. I'm going to go ahead and let me see. Maybe I can do this in topology mode. Yeah. I'm going to take this edge, and we'll go ahead and bridge them. And that's all I need to do. Now I probably want to put an extra edge right here in the middle, just so that we can adhere to the contour of the shoe a little bit better. Yeah. So, okay, and we could go ahead and maybe tweak some of these edges, line them up a little bit better. You see that's a little bit wonky right there. But yeah, you can do that as we progress. So go ahead and mirror the rest of the panels, such as the foxing, as well as the little toe cap slash vamp panel. But when it comes to doing the eye stays, you might want to just do those by hand, just retopologize the other side, because it's probably going to be quicker to do it that way than it would be to do the mirroring on it. So yeah, so that's it for this.